Alright, so I finished swapping the black interior into this, and turned out pretty good. Got the whole front and back completed, and it looks totally stock. I mean, there's a couple things there in the middle, but got my little boost knob where the cigarette lighter goes. Unfortunately, I was an idiot and I screwed it in and kind of cracked the plastic back here, but you can't really tell. Also, just so you know, I got really lucky. I found some dude that had one of these shift bezels. He had it for he sold it to me for $200. Now, usually I think these go for like $300 or $400. I actually sold one the other last year actually for I think $450. So scored it for $200 and went to put it on, and I discovered that with the V160 you need to be able to lift here to put it in reverse, right? There's like this little lockout. It's actually kind of hard to do with this boot, but it's all right. So if you have a V160 and you put this bezel on, you're not going to be able to lift this up to put it in reverse. Now mine's doing it because I actually it was really bad. I actually took out the ring, the plastic ring that's in here that kind of keeps all the leather together, and then I had to kind of cut the boot, and I felt really shitty about doing it. You can kind of see back here where I had to cut it. You know, I try to put it back into the knob, but it's just going to come out when you navigate it, but should be good. I mean, I know you can't really see that well, but you can kind of lift up on her and put her in reverse. So it works. It's functional. I might have to mess with it a little bit more, but that was something that I didn't expect to run into. Anyways, yeah, dude, the interior is awesome now. Way better. And you know, what's funny is I originally didn't want to swap the dash because it was going to be so much work. But, you know, I already had everything torn out, like the center console and all that. And I'm like, you know, it might look stupid having like a gray dash and then a black center console and a black steering wheel and a black interior. So I was like, you know what? I'm just going to do the dash. And let me tell you, it was quite the experience. I would say it takes 4 hours to take the complete interior out of an SC, but to put it back in takes probably this took me probably about 20 hours to do. And it was a pain in the ass because things were breaking, like the plastic tabs on the door panels and on the panels for the back. And so I had to use epoxy and fix them, and it was just a nightmare. I hope I never have to rip this dash out again, or, you know, any of the panels, because they're just going to break. The car's just too old. So I think we're getting to that point where the cars are just so old that when you try and do basic repairs, like you want to put a radio in, or you want to upgrade your speakers, like the plastic's so brittle, you may want to just leave it alone. You know, if the radio works and you got nice speakers already, then I'd say just leave it alone. Because you're going to probably break these panels, and, you know, depending on what type of interior you got, they're not cheap. I don't really remember how much these go for. I remember I had a couple black interior parts, like these door panels here and the upper trim. And I want to say, even in crappy, falling apart condition, people were paying $150 to $200 for the bottom panel. And then for the top, it's probably like another $100, $150. I'm talking about broken. Like this one's actually damaged. You can kind of see that right there in the middle. It's cracked. It was like that actually on the car I took it off of. I tried to repair it, but it was just a waste of time. So it's not fully cracked. I mean, the plastic's broke, but the leather's still kind of holding it together, so it's okay. But I hope I don't have to take it off again, because it'll probably just fall apart. As far as doing the dash, now this was a 96, and so this was fun. So this is a 96. This car is a 96. Now everything you're seeing here is from a 97. And I thought everything was the same. It's not true. The airbag mount's different. The way the dash is built on the 96 is that the airbag and the dash are kind of like, it's pretty much like this is the airbag, and then you have the wood trim here. That's actually part of the airbag assembly. On the 97, it's separate. You can see how the airbag is separate from that wood trim. That wood trim comes across here. So I'm going to tell you right now, if you're in a situation where you want a dash swap or you want an interior swap, make sure it's from the same generation of SC. When I say generation, I mean you have 92 to 96, and then you have generation 2, which is 97 to 2000. And so I'm going to tell you right now, if you don't want to run into issues like I did, because I almost lost my mind when this was happening, make sure it's from the same generation, 92 to 96 or 97 to 2000, because what I've learned swapping in this is, again, the airbag didn't fit, so I actually had to take that cover off and just pop it on there. And this car is built, and, you know, it makes a lot of power, and so I'm not really going to be having probably my family in here or anything like that. You know, I might have some friends and shit, but I'm just going to tell them, like, hey, man, just so you know, there is no airbag. There's an airbag here in the driver, though. But anyways, so that was a problem. And another thing that I ran into quite a bit was that pieces just don't line up. I think the glove box was a problem. I had some problems with the glove box. Now, I can't remember exactly what it was. I just know that there's some things that are not the same. And so you're going to run into issues with that. I don't remember how I resolved it, but I was able. Oh, I had a donor car, and I had to take some pieces from the donor car and put it on. So I have a donor 97. Now, if I were to take this from the other 97, I had it, because I'm going to put that car back together, then I would have been in bad shape. But I had a donor car, so that, I think, helped me out. I think there was just some other pieces, like the way that everything mounts in the 96. In some cases, it's different. So I got this whole thing together, so you can do it. You can do it. You're not going to have an airbag in your passenger seat, but you can do this. You can swap everything in. Like I said, everything's from a 97. So the seats and the rear panels and all that, everything's swapped in. Like I said, though, I want to say the only other thing was something about that rear upper trunk trim there where the speakers are. I think there's something different about that. I can't remember. I want to say there's just like one little mount that I was like, I don't really know where that does. Maybe I just didn't know. I don't know. Anyways, yeah, the dash is the problem. And, yeah, I would say, like I said, make sure you swap your dash and interior from all the same generation. The door panels are different too. At least that I noticed. The mounting tab that's up behind that little tweeter cover, that doesn't exist on the 96, but it does for the 97, so that was kind of odd. And I think that's probably about it. I think everything else pretty much just dropped right in. I think I haven't put anything under here. I probably won't. You probably can't see it. But I didn't put anything under the glove box. I mean, you can't really tell that there's not a cover there. And there's also not a cover up here. I haven't done that yet, but it was quite the experience. I would tell you right now, if you can avoid it, don't do it. But for me, this car, I have so much money in it. It's like the interior's got to match the motor, or else the whole thing's just not worth it to me, you know. So yeah, it worked out pretty good though. Pretty happy with the black interior. So I think that's pretty much about it. I swapped the sun visors here. Everything's all the same and stuff. This car is actually kind of unique because it actually has a manual sunroof. I don't think I've ever seen a SC with a manual sunroof before. It was done by the previous owner for weight savings. And the cool thing is the way they did it, it looks stock. You know, it looks like it belongs on the car. It doesn't leak, so it doesn't get wet in here. And yeah, it functions. So that's kind of, probably just broke the seal now. It probably will leak, right? Better close it. Get her closed up. All right, cool. So that's it. Car's pretty much done. I need to just tidy up a wire under the driver's side, but I got to do the trunk now. Trunk I don't really care about. I'm just going to kind of take everything from the other donor car and drop it into here, and my trunk will be finished then. But my battery's back here, so I got to kind of keep in mind it needs to be somewhat accessible. So I'm probably not going to put every piece of trim in because it just does not, to me, it really doesn't matter. Like I said, I'm not going to be in the trunk much. There's also an amp here that I haven't removed because there's like 1,000 wires going to it. But yeah, what a pain in the ass this car has been. But it's looking way better now. And the 97 swap and keeping that 96 spoiler definitely is pretty fancy. Anyways, I'm gonna go make another video. I need to actually, this thing needs to be washed and waxed, and the interior needs to be cleaned. So I think the next thing is I gotta find some Lexus floor mats. It's probably gonna be a pain in the ass, but see if I can maybe figure out something for that. So yeah, I don't know if you have any questions. I guess maybe just throw them in the comments.